Are we live here?
We is live.
Wow, we are live. Good evening. Another review of Lovecraft Country with myself, Jade, and Raya, Mick, and Marcus.
Hey.
We are the House
Hello.
of Afroscapes and Curls. We're going to be talking about episode 3, Holy Ghost. Okay, so brief synopsis from HBO. Hoping to mend her relationship with her sister Ruby. That was interesting too. Letty turns a ramshackle Victorian on Chicago's North Side into a boarding house, an endeavor that stokes neighborhood racism and awakens dormant spirits stuck in the house. I'm so glad I did not watch this last night when it was dark, because that would have been too much for me. I really would not have been able to sleep. I tell you, I really don't like horror of this show. It was too much. Meanwhile, Atticus remains burdened by a guilty conscience as George's wife Hippolyta presses him for the full story. I knew she knew it wasn't right. Of what happened in Artem. Okay. First, one word to describe this episode.
No. Well, for me, no. That's it. No. No. Triple no. Nope. No.
I'm going to have to go with no, because I typed it so many times in my notes. Between no and not and why and not and no.
Why?
Yeah, it was
No.
It was so much. All right, so this week we've got Letty and her sister Ruby, Tick and Hippolyta and Diana, Montrose, and Christina comes back. All right, so let's start with the beginning. Letty and her sister in this house.
Oh, you skipped right past the
first off.
Oh, wait a minute. What happened?
The first thing is you in church. Proper church.
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I did. Let me get my notes. Yes.
That wasn't a funeral. though.
What was that?
Not
just in church.
I think she was
just in church.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now, was she in church after all of this? Because I could see her being in church after all of this.
Yeah, she was in church after.
Because I would have been in church too.
I would have left church. I would have stay there. I'm staying in church. Not going nowhere.
But you got money and you got a house though.
Woo.
Yeah.
First off, if they would have said, Mick, we got a house deal for you. Really? Here's the house. No. No. That's the house right there? No.
Right.
Well, do you see that's Amityville Horror +5.
Well, let's so Nick in the comments section on YouTube is saying no.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
No.
Right.
Well, Ruby had the same feeling. She said, "How you get this house?" Then she walked inside like, "Oh, that's why." Like you needed to go inside to realize you shouldn't be in that house.
Now, and so in the church, I did make a comment about the church. That was a beautiful church, and that is not typically what you see when you're looking at historical pieces and you're dealing with the Black church. It would have been someplace hot with people fanning and everybody sitting close. Well, no, this was a beautiful church filled with Black people.
Well, it just showed you another side of Blackness. Yeah, it's another side of Blackness,
Yeah,
a nice church.
Yeah.
So in Chicago.
And
when a lot of people acting a fool, but that's the Holy Ghost, though. That's the Holy Ghost.
Somebody's TT got the Holy Ghost, and nobody's phased because this is just, this is just Sunday. So yeah,
that's how it is.
Yep.
It's interesting.
When Sister Justin always went off in our church, it's like, oh, there she go. You know, it was like, all right, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all good. It's all good.
Second Sunday. Well, you know, whatever. No big deal.
Second Sunday at a precise time, you're like, oh, there she go. There she go.
Yeah.
So no.
All right. So
if I had my word, because I didn't give my word.
What's your word? Because we all said no. I'm sorry.
It would definitely be spirits, because you can see like different forms of spirituality and spiritedness, and spirits throughout the entire episode.
Ooh, spiritedness. I like that.
Well, some of those spirits need to go on now. Go on. I don't have time for that.
They did though.
Well,
no, they didn't.
We'll get to that.
No, they didn't.
We'll get to that.
No. I got some questions. I got questions.
Okay. And first I will say spoilers.
I feel like if they're watching this show, or if they're watching this, they should know their spoilers. Why would you watch a review?
I'm just saying. I'm just making sure. Spoilers.
All I know is once they went in that house and that elevator tried to kill them, they should have just walked right back out and burnt it. Right. Just burnt the ground. There's nothing. There's nothing.
She was homeless.
She about to be the owner of some burnt out land.
Cause see, they're looking at the elevator, looking at the room like she's scared. I'm like, oh no, it's time to go. It's time to go. This elevator is messed up. It's time to go. Time to go.
We haven't even moved very far in the story. Still no.
Nick popped his hand in the door and he said, "Burn it down."
Do you see books still on the table? Letty, do you see books still on the table? Letty, what's going on with you? Let's go. Don't you see what's wrong here?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
Okay. So, all right. No, let's just go back. Let's just keep going, because I do have some questions about Letty and her death. Mick, what questions did you have before we keep? Because I feel like it's going to be no every 5 seconds.
First off, why in the world would you buy something like that? And I was like, wait a minute. Somebody said, what is wrong with you? See, if these white folk didn't want it, why you gonna get it? They don't even want it. So why you getting it?
She saw the potential. She saw the potential. She saw an investment. She also, I feel like she saw a way to break a barrier, because she knew this is a part of town where Black people are not welcome. She knew that. She bought it. But I also feel like because she has died and been raised from the dead, that something is drawing her to certain things, because she did a lot of things in this episode that we can just keep saying no about.
Yes. Constantly.
As my spirit fan came back on. I have a fan in my room that just continues to just do what it wants to do. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I can tell you this: that when they were when she bought the place, I knew that the money came from only one location. It only came from one person. So that's all I'm gonna say right there, since we haven't gone deeper. But I knew where the money came from. I'm like, come on now, you know where that money came from.
Okay.
They wasn't trying to hide that.
No, they didn't hide that. You knew where the money came from. So
I didn't get it until the end.
No,
I didn't get that.
No way you're gonna get the money, but from the bad people. The bad people had the money.
Well, you didn't come from a mother.
Bad? Is money bad? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if it's Jada is trying to kill you, yes, it is bad.
Okay, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. Okay, all right. So the first act, the tropes and elements of horror. What did we see? Okay, the music is amazing. All those jump scares.
Amazing.
I jumped at every one.
Yes.
I jumped at
Yes.
everyone.
And,
the people
but they
beating.
start off yes. And the covers being taken off, the covers being taken off the bed.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go.
Too much.
Here we go. Here we go. And then the lady on the side of the bed looking at you. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Mm-mm. If I would have woke up and saw that, I would have joined her. I would say, okay, I'm dead. I'm joined her. I'm dead.
But she didn't. She didn't. She stayed asleep through all of I mean, that's why I say something changed about her.
Yeah, had to.
I'm not gonna lie, like I try not to skip too far or whatever, but when she was just like when she was talking about how she felt different and stuff like that, and like since the last episode, I've had like the same consistent words towards her, and that's just necromancy. That's just like I feel different. Necromancy, like you was dead.
Yeah. And she communed. She communed with the dead. Oh my God, she did it. Okay, all right, okay.
I'm just saying every time, just like you look a little pale, necromancy. You should be dead. You should be dead.
She
should
be
dead.
She was dead. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So who was narrating in the beginning?
Yeah, what was that? Who was that speaking?
It was like a poem or something. I'm not exactly sure where it came from.
It sounded like Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah. No,
I listened to it twice. I know it wasn't. I knew it wasn't, but it sounded like him. I did not.
It sounded like a woman, though. It was a woman.
Was it one of the spirits in the house?
Now that I don't know.
I couldn't find anything about it. I went to look for it.
I don't know.
Interesting though.
And the text,
but it was strong though. And then that tear came out of her eye. I'm like, uh-oh, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good at all. No.
Right.
It's not good.
Okay. There's 13 rooms. Oh, there's 13 rooms in the house.
13 rooms.
Get out of this house.
I love the number 13. It's such a healthy number. So many possibilities.
No.
Be quiet over there. Quiet, Mariah.
No, I'm not.
You're scaring me right now.
I will. I say.
13 is a nice number. No, it's not.
No.
Well, that's 13.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Fitch. By the way, Mr. Fitch, it's 13 rooms in the house. Oh, sorry. Gotta go.
No.
And so you're homeless. No. You get this money, and someone's just like, by the way, you should totally get this house with this money, and you're just gonna be all like, I suppose I'll continue being homeless after you've been dead.
I want to live. I want to live.
She's dead already.
I don't want my head coming off. I want to live. I want to live.
Her head was borrowed, so she's on borrowed time.
Yes, on borrowed time. Woo, man.
This was a really scary episode. And I am just really glad that I watched it today during the day and not last night. And that I just put that together that there were 13 rooms in that house. There were so many little elements in this show. Yeah. Okay, so
it was such a lively house in every sense of the word. And it was
yes, it was. Very loud.
It was good to see people just like, oh, we can be here, we can share space together, and like we can, and we can know what that is. It's funny how she's always like walking around with a camera, even though I know it's what people with cameras do. And it's just like, those people are carrying this really heavy thing, but that's fine. To stop them from what they're doing, make sure that you get
They got it. Yeah. Let's see. Her sister wants to work at Marshall Fields,
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the second week in a row she's been talking about it.
Right.
Yes.
So what's going to be happening at Marshall? I guess we're going to eventually see
some
her.
discrimination. That's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
She's going to find out she colored. That's what's going to happen when we get to her.
Well,
real quick.
Yes,
she was
is.
like, I just wish that more black people would be like me. And this is like, we tired. Trauma. They trying, okay? You about to find out. Like,
and what's interesting is, and I did not ask my mother, but I remember I have an aunt who it was either the late 50s or early 60s. It might have been later, but I feel like that was about the time period. She went to cosmetology school in Chicago, came back to Omaha, and she was the first Black woman to have a counter at Brandeis department store. Brandeis was the major department store here in Omaha in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So that was a big deal that she was the first. So I think this is taking place in what, 55?
1955.
Ruby might be the one to break the barrier.
But it was kind of scary at the front. It said in 1955, 3 people go missing. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. Who's going missing? The Black folk going missing. I said, here we go. It's just bad on the get go.
The Black people survive. Amen. Yeah. Amen.
That's a good thing. Amen.
It said a group of Negro men and women moved into a house on the north side of Chicago. 10 days later, 3 people went missing inside the house, never to be seen again. So
it's the Black people because we're used to that trope.
Yeah, I assumed it was Black people. I assumed it was Black. Yes.
Right.
I assumed.
Like if that was a riddle, just like 13 Black people move into a house, 3 people died. How many Black people are there? We would just assume. Now there's only 10 Black people.
But at the end, didn't say it said the 3 people were investigating or pioneering or something like that.
Pioneering is dangerous.
Pioneering is dangerous. Yes, white folk, pioneering is dangerous. And y'all keep doing it.
Who is it dangerous for, though? I feel like it's usually dangerous for the other people.
Well, dangerous for the other folk, yeah.
There were so many levels, like physical levels to this house that kept getting me. Like, there's the first level, there's the second level, there's the attic, and then they have the basement, then they have the sub basement, and then they have the this is too much. Okay,
we're big house.
I just got it. The group of Negro women and men is Letty and her friends, and the 3 people that go missing are the 3 white people.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just got that again. I only saw the episode once today, so I'm sorry. I usually watch it.
And that adds up to 13 people. Just thought.
Oh my God.
13 people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. So the relationship between Letty and her sister is further deteriorating because.
Yes.
Because that's like the what's that story name with the son? And okay, it's in the Bible, and it's just like the son that's not doing all the great things. Prodigal son. That's the vibes I got. She was just like, I've been toiling, I've been doing everything that mama wanted, and she gonna get the money to you.
Right.
But she's just like, I just wanted to help by sharing, and she was just like, you fake. At least mama knew she was fake, but you try to act like something.
But the money didn't come from the mother. So now what?
Money didn't come from mama.
She thought it did.
But she did think it did. Right.
Yeah, she thought it did.
She's like, you know what I'll do? I will put this money to the best use for all of us without asking you for your input,
And get the Amityville Horror House. Yeah, get the Amityville Horror House. That's real good. Really great.
She didn't know that.
It had running water.
It had running water.
You look at that house,
So you hear begging coming from a mystical room, and then you have the nerve to let somebody tell you should set up your black room or what dark room in here. Like,
and she's like, "Cool,
I just told you someone was in here."
No.
Yeah, I'll board up the windows. And that won't happen no more. You can use this to make your pictures.
No. What windows? Were there windows down there?
No. Not that I saw.
That's what I'm like. Board up what window?
No.
But Dick said he'd secure the floors because he thought it was the neighbors.
See, I didn't even know anything previously to anything else. All I knew is the way how that room was set up. I was just like, this looked like black people died in here. Like, I don't know what had happened, but some black people died in here. Look at them seats. That's some black people killing seats right there. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let's move forward into the Freeman household. And Tick has now been staying with his aunt and his cousin and trying to, be of support. But he knows that she wants to know more and that she's not happy. Well, she's not happy because her husband is dead, but she's also knows that something else happened and that he and his father are not telling her the whole truth. So she's unsettled. Why is she ripping up?
So is that why? Why? That's what I was gonna say. Why was she ripping up the Dracula? What was she doing that for?
That's easier than cutting yourself, I guess. She's ripping up Dracula because it's like, I don't buy it, and I'm angry.
I mean, she was mad.
She was, and she was stroking the book much like George stroked the books. There's love of the literature and the stories in there. So when she was stroking the book, it's like, oh, the memories. And then she started ripping the pages out.
Torn.
And what I wrote was like her heart. She's ripping the pages like her heart has been ripped out of her body. So that is a physical representation of the pain she is feeling. And black people
I can see that.
Black people read books.
Oh, they read books.
And how she came into the room, and because they're setting up breakfast, and the first thing that she did was first the kid looked at the empty spot, and then the first thing that mom did when she came in, she instantly flipped that cup like, he ain't here no more. Right. I'm not dealing with this. Right. Resolved.
Well, and then later she said, and that's what I thought too. But later, when she was talking to Letty, said that Tick turned the cup up to dry. But when George did the dishes, he turned the cups down.
And now that Tick messing up the book. She needs to get her final edits in. He's there, but he's kind of messing up her whole flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go now. Get.
Well, that's why Tick said, I've worn out my welcome over at at my uncle's place, so it's time to go. I wore out that welcome.
That is also
how is it this man can't find a place to stay?
He could have stayed with his father.
Yeah. He tried that.
He could have stayed. But Daddy got a little upset. Daddy got a little crazy.
Daddy got a little grieving. He was like held hostage, and now his brothers, who's like probably the only proper father figure that he had, is dead, and he's like looking as if he's comatose on something, but he was just comatose on his grief.
Yeah. Tick and Montrose share a scene together for more than 5 minutes before they wanted to like throw water at each other and knock each other out.
But
he can't stay there either.
But when he said, I need to stay here for a few days, that was okay. I mean, without flinching, without even looking, he was like, yeah.
He said okay, but I ain't staying there.
Working through that pride though, because he's just like, and I noticed the power dynamic because his dad's smaller than he is, and he came back from the war. I'm assuming that he came back from the war buffer, and so when his dad took his like power pose, and his son was like full body stance, and he was just like,
I've changed my mind about the engagement.
Like I resent you, but I know to keep like my body where it's at. Like I see you. Right. I'm gonna act like I got you. by saying right here.
And Montrose is on the floor, and he's talking to himself. Is he talking to himself in a dream, talking through a story, or is he drunk, or is he just out of it?
He's both drunk and I think talking through a story, because that's what Tick was talking to him about.
He was talking to a story, yeah.
One of George's stories that he liked to tell, that he was mouthing asleep.
That's a reading Black family for sure. Just dreaming up stories.
But they were talking about this mysterious stranger that helped him, and at the end he said, "I got you." So that was really something to think about. Like, oh, when is this mysterious stranger gonna end up again and say, "I got you"?
Right.
When's that gonna happen?
He said a savior with a baseball bat, and all he said was, "I got you, kid." But that is the exact same thing that happened in the very beginning of episode 1 when Tick is fighting Cthulhu. It's the man with the baseball bat, Jackie Robinson, but he makes him Jackie Robinson. The man with the baseball bat that beats Cthulhu for him and says, "I got you."
Which comes back later in this episode as well.
Yep. And Montrose, first of all of those records.
Yeah, tons of records. Tons.
And you couldn't see anything. Like, there were so many. All you saw were the spines of the record, where there would have normally been books, but his shelves are full of records now.
Records, yes. Oh, and that's
I didn't even know
contrast. Yeah.
Right.
I had an uncle who had just records all along his walls, lining the floors, hundreds of records.
And they're very orderly. Like there is an order to. It's not chaotic. When you looked at George's books, they were just everywhere on his shelf.
Yeah.
They just true. No order at all. But Montrose, everything is in order perfectly, seamlessly, and he listens to opera. Like, that's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting him to listen to. Oh my God!
This family is very. It's very, very. They love the arts, and not just just anything you would think Black folk would do. They're doing like serious stuff, opera, and reading cool books. I'm like, this. It's just been well made. This thing has just been like, whoa, just blow your mind.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I also noticed and I don't know old school houses and stuff like that, but just affirming the fact that it was a writing family, because there was a pencil sharpener stuck to the wall. And I assume that not every house did that back in the day. Assumption. But just being of course this would be here because this is a reading, writing family. And so that's important.
Right. This is
now the party. Now, what's up with the party now?
I feel like we're skipping.
First of all, the three the three white boys. Those three white boys in the front.
Oh, before we get there, she goes in the basement.
Okay.
Is that a bear trap?
Yeah, there's a bear trap in the basement.
Yeah, it's a bear trap.
Because it was a trap. It was a signal. It's a trap.
A bear trap.
Bear trap.
I mean, was that bear trap there during the walkthrough when you would buy in the house? Because that's a red flag.
There was no walkthrough.
There was no walkthrough in that.
Because I would have saw that basement. I said no.
Well, I mean, what you gonna complain about how
too brave? She was too brave going down there by herself. What is wrong with her?
You heat a 5,000 square foot house with one boiler in that house.
And I've never seen a boiler that big. That was huge. It was massive. And how did she know exactly what to do?
She's been living with some low income people because she's been on that grind. I'm gonna say she's been homeless. She's been doing advocacy and activist work. You're bound to have to know how to do these things at some point.
And when she's down there and Tick comes in, or is that the point where he said, tactics that he learned in Korea.
Yeah.
Torture some people.
Mm-hmm.
Heat, excessive heat, and noise.
Yeah.
And she was like, what were you doing? I want to know, what were you doing?
And but he does offer to stay around for a couple more days and board up the windows and watch the house.
Yeah.
And she reaches out to him to take his hands, and he kind of draws away right then.
Right.
You remember?
Yeah.
They were traumatized.
They were.
They were traumatized. Yes.
Like, you remind me of him. And so I got to pull back.
But no, it was he pulled back from her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he pulled back from her.
I'm saying there's
the memory of what they went through.
Each other reminded them of what they went through, but even more so, what reminds them of George or what had happened. And so that closeness, the last time they were close together was when George had brought them together to tell them how strong they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the party. Okay, first of all, I was like, okay, y'all, something's gonna be a mess because it's too many people in this house, and it's too loud. That's a loud
and
party.
Everybody's looking out their window.
Right.
All the Karens and Kens were looking out their window.
You already know. 2020, you already know. 1955, I don't think they would have been that loud. But I mean,
I don't have any friends who are going to pull up on a house that looks like that with horns blaring on the outside. And they're like, oh, sure. We'll spend the next 3 hours here. Great.
Right.
Did you bring that
they wanted to have that radical black joy.
Woo.
And
that's a lot of radical black joy. Woo.
And the neighbors with the bricks on the horn. First of all, does that not drain your battery? And don't you live in this neighborhood too? Is that not annoying to you?
You didn't know that hate can be so deep that you don't care about the consequences yourself?
Like, I will take 8 days of horns as long as some black people in it. And they didn't say black people. They said them black people don't live there. That's all.
Right.
Get up out my house.
They put out the sign saying, they put out the sign saying this is a white neighborhood. Get out.
Right.
Get out.
Okay. So the kids in the whatever room they were in, and the Ouija board. Were they in the attic? Oh my God.
Ouija board.
Children in
Came
the
with
attic.
the house.
Children, flowers in the attic.
Who brought the Ouija board? Who thought that was cool?
I mean, it was a house of a white man, so maybe it's that, I don't see black people.
Oh Lord.
I don't know anyone. Growing up, I did not know.
They're intentionally tapping into that kind of spirituality. I don't know anybody who doing that.
No.
Is my trip gonna be good?
Nope.
Shoot.
And he looked like Emmett Till. That's what I had seen.
That was the intention there. Because Emmett Till was from Chicago, and that was 55 was the summer before he headed out.
Yeah. Oh, that could have been it.
No, that's exactly it. The way he's exactly like Emmett Till's photo that they use all the time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it was
hot.
And it was just it just passed his birthday a couple of days ago too.
They're just trying to build for you the idea that this is a fiction, but the time was very real.
Yeah.
And like, you think this horn's bad? Nah, that ain't nothing.
And that's why
George. And then it said George is dead, right?
I think so, but was there anything between George and is?
George
was still moving the planchette around.
Was it dead or was it spelling out Freeman?
Oh, it spelled out dead. I watched it a couple times.
It spelled out dead. George is dead.
Oh.
Yes, but I think there was something between George and is that they were still moving it around, but you didn't see what letters it was going on.
Yeah, it was going through a lot of letters. And I said, time to go, throw it away. Throw it away.
It's dark, so I can't watch it again.
Never should have had it. Never should have had it.
So, I'm curious, but I can't watch it again right now.
It had to be something that knew her though, because his wife, because it knew that she loved the stars, because when she went into the room, it had what was like, just it had her in it.
Solar system thing.
Was it an astrolabe? Is that what that was?
I have no idea what that's called.
And did she touch it? Did she touch it?
Yeah.
I don't know. They moved away just as soon as she was about to touch it.
Yeah.
That's not an astrolabe. Astrolabe is different.
Okay. It was golden and glowing and calling to her.
It definitely looked like a solar system model.
Yes. But it was all gold.
Yes, well.
So that's clearly the other trap room. But
that was the trap room. That was
there are no non-trap room. Every room in that house is a trap.
No, I didn't see nothing in the other rooms.
There's a literal bear trap in the basement.
That I said one of the two. Yes.
You did.
And then she went into the restroom. She went into the restroom and somebody's looking at her. And they ain't cool.
All I know is Letty was having a good time at that party, passing out drinks. Making sure everybody's having a good time.
Yes.
She was.
I love the interaction between Tick and the other guy that was like, "Yo, dog, is this you?"
That was
like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Don't nobody own nobody up in here, okay? We already know slaves. We are freed.
I know. But the fact that he asked the question, like, I know y'all, you might have a thing. Can I get in there?
And you live rent free up in here.
Right. Right. And Tick didn't say anything. It was just a look.
No, he was getting jealous of two men at the same time. Just
like,
he got one guy in his ear and he got another guy dancing with Letty, and it's very suggestive. And he's like,
Yes.
I can't be here.
And the guy said, after he gives him the look, and I love the look that he gave him because he does some really good looks without saying anything. They say a lot. And the guy said, "Well, you better tell her."
Yeah, but tell her.
It's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone, but you better tell her. It's like, oh my god,
but tell her.
And like she saw him looking. She saw him looking and amped it up a notch. Like, oh, you seeing this? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
But that don't mean nothing. She went into the restroom, and then somebody was looking at her in the restroom. Have y'all forgotten about that? Who cares about all that? Look at her. What are y'all talking about?
The house is hot.
Looking at her.
The house is hot. She didn't even notice. She washing her face or something. She didn't even see him.
Why did the guy in the jersey have a baby head?
Because experimentation.
The baby head man.
He was chopping people up and putting them together as experiments. Yeah. Probably for Adam and Eve stuff. I don't know.
He was doing all kinds of weird stuff in that house.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
But he probably contained it to the basement because you don't want that like in your dining room. It's formal.
Apparently, like a civilized person, we slaughter our black people in the sub basement.
That's right.
Sub basement.
Where the blood drained.
But the thing.
Yes.
But then after, when they went back downstairs, after all that little rigmarole in the bathroom with Tick and Homegirl, when they went downstairs and then you saw a glow of light outside, you knew, as a black person, you knew what that glow was outside. You knew what the glow.
Oh, yes.
You know what glow is.
I will say the bathroom scene for me was really overwhelming, and I had to space out because, like I said before, there was a lot of possessive tension, and that was very discomforting. So before the bathroom even happened, and then coming into the bathroom, there were assumptions, and no, hey, is this okay? It was just straight to it. And then what was it? Like she pulled it off as if it was her menstrual cycle, but it wasn't. And
I knew that
was he was nice, but like at the same time, like those gray zones really do exist. And they wouldn't exist so aggressively if people use their words.
There was no word. But it made some things make sense from last week when she was telling the person that she thought was Tick, no, just wait, no, because that's why.
Yeah,
that was why.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay,
but she said she but when that glow happened, that glow, I was like, man, here come the KKK. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go.
As I kept referring to them in my notes, the welcome wagon, phase 3.
Here we go.
I went from phase 1, the welcome wagon, phase 2, welcome wagon. We've got the burning cross. Phase 3, the police.
And then what tripped me out is that they put all the guns in the car, and then they put everything, and then they got on the ground immediately. I was like, that's 2020 right there. Yeah. I mean, we have not gotten over that crap yet, and that kind of just, I was like, okay, I'm upset. Yeah. Why don't all the monsters come? Where's Cthulhu? I need him to take out some right now. Take out some folk right now. Take out this whole neighborhood right now. This whole neighborhood, take it out right now.
And
they got on the ground.
The officer holding on to the leather strap, and it's like, dang, I know what's about to happen. And then
We've seen it before in Baltimore. We saw that in Baltimore.
Yep, it's a tactic. It's a known tactic. It's the welcome wagon. Yeah.
And then we found out that Letty had a history of activism, because here come homeboy saying them little words that got me upset. I'm like, oh, okay. They say it today too. Okay, yeah, that's what they always say. Everybody was talking, like, oh, there was 3 bodies found in the basement or whatever. They found all those bodies in the basement, and why you get that house? How you get that money to get that house? At that point, I would have said, do you want the house back? You want it back? Because I don't want it. You can have it.
I half wanted her to be like, ask the question like that. What do you know about the house?
Yeah,
but that wasn't going to happen. Okay, so we've already talked about her and her sister and the inheritance. Now, Montrose goes to see Hippolyta, and she is in George's office. And when they're talking, and she says, y'all not telling me everything. You're not telling me everything. Did you notice something sped past the window?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was just a guy on a bicycle, but I did rewind it to see that again. I'm like, what was that?
Right.
No, something happened.
Did you notice she bought a second copy of Dracula?
Right.
Like, did she finish ripping out all the pages and she just needs a fresh one? Or is she trying to replace it? I don't. Who's going to notice or care?
Or maybe she wanted something close.
Right.
Yeah, but she wanted something close to George. George loved that, so she got that again because she was upset. That's what I could ask. That she wanted to replace something that was close to her heart and close to her husband. So.
Was this after the party? Because then there was again like the whole globe room, and then she ends up going to get a new book.
Yeah, it was after the party, and it was.
But what was that? What was that thing that came speeding by? That kind of, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, here we go.
I think that was a person on the bicycle. When I rewound it, I'm like,
read deeper into it. No,
I'd like to, but I just they did the music pitched up because that was a tense conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, she ain't buying it.
I don't know. I keep wanting to, and I have to go back and remember who Hippolyta, and that's the thing. They keep calling her Hippolyta, but it's Hippolyta from Roman mythology, Greek mythology, one of those mythos, and see exactly what was she an Amazon? She was Aramis, she's somebody's child. She does something. She does something. She's with Hercules, I know, and I don't remember anything else about Hippolyta. So I have to do that for next week because I think her story is coming and why she's so fascinated with the stars, and that is a whole thing, which I love. These are not stereotypical representations of people of color.
No,
none of specifically. No, and the storytelling is done so well. Okay, let's see the next. All right, so Letty has the. Why is she in the basement?
Why is she in the basement?
And made it a dark room.
Because she be listening to the wrong people.
Letty.
She need better influences.
Letty was wrong. And then all the faces are all going crazy. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, they're all double exposure. Yeah, that's great.
Oh my god.
No.
I'm sorry. The thing turns into a giant head and says to get out of my house, and I'll be like, yes, sir. I'll never be back. Here are my pants. They are no problem.
Here's the keys. Here's the key, sir. Here's the key. Here's the keys. No problem. I'm gone.
I was like, this must be a dream. And then it was just like, oh no, this isn't a dream. Oh, okay.
No, that was a dream.
No, it was not. It was not a dream.
That was the white guy who owned the house.
Yes.
Saying, get out of my house. Yeah.
But the pictures were showing her something else. And then he came through. Yeah. So when she's sitting in the, I guess, diner or whatever, talking to Tick, and she's, at this point,
all over this table, she looks frazzled. She's all a beautiful mind over here, and Tick's like, "What's up?" She's like, "My house is haunted." He's like,
"My house is haunted." No stuff, lady. No stuff.
He didn't say, "I don't believe you." He said, Just walk me through it.
With what they've been through, that man better believe her.
Yeah.
I mean, they've seen
her.
They had Lovecraftian monsters come after them. So hey, let me know. What's up? Let me know.
They've been in the house with witches and warlocks, and she's come back from the dead. Yeah.
Yes.
This
is going to be a very matter of fact. My house is haunted.
He's like, "Yep, cool.
Walk me through it.
Walk me through it.
What does he win by arguing? He just looks like a fool. Like, just like, I don't believe you. You.
All right, he's correct.
But the cool thing about it was, he sounded like every black person in America when he said, "It's time for you to move out."
Right. It's time for you to move.
It's time. It's time for you to move, baby. It's time to go.
Because Misha knew. That's what I was thinking. She knew.
Oh, yes.
That's what Jade is going to be thinking. I don't know Jade, but I know that's what she's going to be thinking at this point in this show.
Yeah.
Going into the third fact, it's time for you to move out of that house because I can't take no more stress.
Time to go.
We got to see it through.
Time to go.
And what I really enjoyed was and what is it? I've seen I guess I've I've gained a better perspective on these kinds of things from my interactions with people of different spiritualities on Twitter and stuff like that. Them, I don't know the technical term, but them bringing in
an exorcist, I guess.
Sorceress.
She was. Okay, so in my notes,
Jamaican one.
I said,
she was Jamaican.
I don't know the
ghost blood purging the house. Is she Haitian? I think she was a Haitian voodoo priestess.
Priestess.
Voodoo,
okay, I was
voodoo
the correct
word.
Yeah. So the fact that they brought in the priestess, in the midst of everything. So we had Black spirituality, a kind of Black spirituality, And then at the same time, we were playing gospel music. And I was just like bringing it back to one of the conversations I remember Jade and somebody else was having, where it's just like Black Christianity and general Westernized Christianity aren't the same thing. And how you will find those things connected and lumped together. Usually not looking exactly like this, but it could. But yeah, that was one of the things that like really leapt out to me of just like this is affirming a multi-layer experience of like Black spirituality.
True.
In ways that some people probably won't like. So there's that.
My thing was when she killed the goat and got blood and put her little cross on her head and went and she said, "Oh, we this needs to protect us." I said, "Protect us? You go in there by yourself, sister. Go in there by yourself. I'm not coming with you. You go
You're
right
like
over
mapping out
cross
how
it up,
each way.
Cross it up, go. Cross it up, go. No, don't put it on me. Just go."
Yeah, no.
You hire her like Ghostbusters. Like you get in there with the trap, and when you come out with the bill, you let me know.
Right.
There
no,
do your thing.
She had to be a part of it because she was the one that was living in the house, so she had to be a part of the process. And the priestess says, "Mama Oya," and Oya is one of the orishas in Yoruba practice. The orishas, Marcus and I were just talking about the orishas last week. I told you about those. There are lots of orishas, but Oya is the goddess of they're minor gods. So there's a whole nother thing. She is the goddess of, I think, lightning.
So
I think
like
wind. She's like storm, but also birth and death.
Rebirth.
Rebirth. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's why she was calling on Mama Oya for assistance.
Oh, okay.
And she is syncrusted with the Catholic Saint Bridget.
Yes, St. Bridget. I thought about that. Yes.
So
and that's why the cross, because voodoo is a blend of Vodun, which is a traditional African religion, and Catholicism. It's a blend of the two. So that's why you'll get the cross with the goat's blood.
Yeah. But you have to put it on me. Just go on in there, sweetheart. Go on in there by yourself. You'll be good. You will be good.
All right. So
I will be praying for you out here.
They're holding hands.
Okay. Yeah, but no. Before that, those 3 white boys think it was upon them to come into somebody else's house. They always want to do that. They always want to come to somebody else's house. You know?
They won't do that again.
They won't be doing anything again.
No, they won't be doing anything.
They're dead.
Baby head got him.
Yes. Oh my God. The baby head, and he sounded like a baby. Oh my God, that was so.
They had the baby.
I was so glad. I said, the Lovecraftian monsters, I'm cheering for every week to get all these white folk. It's so much fun. I said, yes, go.
So what I wrote was, oh my God, white people. Can the ghosts get them and scare them so much that they don't come back? Oh my God, that would be great. Ha ha ha. I cackled. Get them. Those were my notes. It's like, okay, get them. Oh my God.
Get them.
And they do.
But they do. They get them all.
The sprinkler system in this
it's
just the pipes bursting. I mean, that house would be just a little bit too good to have a sprinkler system.
Yeah.
No. The pipes burst.
Come out of nowhere and say, get out of my house.
So
talk about get out of my house. Like,
Yeah, when we got to the possession part, I was like, oh no. I was back to no.
Back to no.
It's like the
back
yes
no.
didn't last long. Back to no. And
back to no.
Her finding the resolve, because the priestess was knocked out.
Oh yeah, she didn't come.
She was gone.
She was gone.
The weapon was gone. The weapon was gone.
But Letty had to find it in herself to keep it going. Like she probably didn't even know what she was saying, but she was going to keep it going. And she realized who it was that was possessing Tick.
Mm-hmm.
That was just amazing that she knew who that was, and she knew who the other spirits were, and to tell them you're not dead yet. And
she named each one of them.
Right. So she reached him for help. I was like, oh my God, she is calling the ancestors.
Mm-hmm. That's why
I don't need those ancestors now. I don't want them. I don't want them ancestors.
But she gave them a reason. She gave them a reason to fight back.
Yeah.
Because they have been trapped in this house for how long?
Under the evilness of that white man, of the evilness of the man who tortured and killed.
Right. And
they came out, because when I heard. Go ahead. Excuse me, but when I heard the song, we shut you, Satan. We're gonna tear your kingdom down. I said, oh, here we go.
Yeah, the use of gospel music in that moment was amazing. That she is using voodoo and Christianity and calling on the ancestors all at the same time, knowing that she is only one that is standing. Tick is out. The priestess is knocked out. And she is using everything that she knows, and probably things that she doesn't realize she can tap into to fix this situation, and also help them get rest. Because I thought, how long have they been in that house with that man's spirit? And were they there to torture him? Or was he still torturing them?
Well,
I think he was still torturing.
He had the power. But as they were being called onto, and as they were chanting against him, they were able to reclaim their bodies, and that's what took his power away and diminished him.
Yeah.
And again,
because they started looking normal.
The entire week,
Marcus,
it's the biggest effect shot in the entire show for the entire week, and they still playing music over the top of it, and just like you can't hear the dialogue really, and they're just letting the scene and the music play together. It's I really like the construction of the show. It's something special.
Yeah.
I'm also curious as to what I think is really interesting, and I don't know if this has anything to do with like blood being shed, but it went from the priestess to Tick, and then pursued her through Tick.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with the blood being drawn from before in the bathroom.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point, though. That's an interesting point. All I know is she was the last one standing, and just like Jay said, she was calling on everything to get this taken care of. I was calling on Jesus. I would call on Buddha, Hindu. I would have called on everybody. Confucius.
But would you have called on the spirits?
No. I was
on everybody. Muslims, help me. Get this.
I'd have called a realtor a whole week ago.
Yeah.
You said called on the Muslims.
I would have called everything.
Yeah.
Lord,
in my notes, I was like, blood of Jesus. I just want her to start casting them out. But that's exactly what she did. That is exactly what she did.
Like, come with me so we can cast this out. And it's just like, well, I just really appreciate the scene because again, like I know that there are if there are Christians who are actually watching this, like hardcore Christians. I don't know why they would be continuing to watch this. There's so many things that can be deemed as demonic.
Right here.
But like there's so many like Black people who get so angry at the idea of like these diverse layers of what Black spirituality is, and how even people who claim Christianity, they can still be practicing calling out to their ancestors. That you can call out to your ancestors and still like cast out demons and like voodoo practices and all this different stuff. And the fact, like the song that was being played was talking about like casting out demons and like the devil can't be here, which is basically calling the experimenting white man the devil. And they rebuked him. It was great. And I just can't appreciate that scene so anymore because I'm just grateful it was there to hold space for like the diversity and variety of what Black spirituality is.
Well, and I mean, the fact that you have two sets of spirits in this house, and she wasn't trying to cast them out.
Mm-hmm.
She asked for their help, and they answered her call. I mean, we that's a whole nother conversation about Black spirituality and diasporic traditions, but if you're a Christian and you drink you drink Jesus's blood and you eat of his flesh at least once a month in communion. But we look down upon religion, especially Haitians and voodoo, because of those practices, but they're the exact same practice. They may look a little bit different, but they are the same thing. But we have a way of demonizing anything that comes out of Haiti because of slavery.
Deep slavery.
Because of slavery.
That's true.
Yes, because they called on ancestors to help them fight the French.
Well, I tell you, I would have called on every type of ancestor I had, boy, in that one. Ooh. Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Now, when God got his head taken off, there was somebody in that elevator that came down and stopped and looked at him. I was like, "Oh Lord," And then at the end, what was the deal? What was the deal at the end? Was somebody in that elevator still? Are the spirits still in the house?
I think the spirits go away.
They still in the house, but now they're for good and not for evil.
I mean, good. What I don't know.
So
I don't think they're humans.
The elevator goes down, and you see the 3 fresh bodies, but behind them you see the 8 bodies that were there before. Did the police go, "We found the bodies, nothing to do with it. We'll just leave them here. It's good. They're part of the house now."
It was that one. It was that one captain. It was that one captain that said, "Oh, they found that guy."
Yeah, they found it, but you usually remove those things.
They didn't remove.
Maybe there were more.
Yeah.
Autopsies?
I think
maybe there's more because there was a whole trail, and we don't know where that trail goes to.
Yeah, it's a whole trail. Yeah, it's a whole trail. Yeah.
So they know that the dead bodies were. How did the scientist dude die?
I have no idea.
So how do we know that
he was trying to open up that gate? He was trying to open up the Garden of Eden.
So how do we know that he didn't bring the bodies down there to go to Eden? Or like, I don't know. And we know that he was associated with, the cops as well as this very concerning organization.
He was one of the sons of Adam.
Yeah.
Is my guess is that he is part of that organization too.
He was not, then he got kicked out because he was crossing lines.
Right.
So we can assume that at the end of that catacombs, there's that catacomb tunnel. there's something down there. There's something at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
you got the
bodies,
you got all the other bodies, huh?
So that's why Christina wanted her to get this house.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
I guess that
because there's a portal.
There's a portal there.
Yeah.
Because and one of the things that my brain clicked with was, and again, I'm not good with names, but Tick's dad. So there was the tunnel that he made, which was the tunnel to freedom. And then there's the tunnel at the bottom of the house, which is like the tunnel to like anti-freedom death. Like, it's like like I'm trying to be free and escape. And it's just like I'm trying to combine people and whatever else.
Yeah.
But did you notice the one book that was on his shelf on the Tick's dad's shelf was The Count of Monte Cristo. That one book that was sitting up there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. That was interesting.
He said it was his favorite.
Well,
now go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Count of Monte Cristo was written by Alexander Dumas.
Yes.
Whose mother was Haitian.
Yes.
Jade?
Yeah.
I don't know what it means. I'm just saying.
Why did Letty keep this house? Why is the end of this? She's showing a reporter through her house instead of putting a wrecking ball through each of those 13 rooms.
She is a dead living woman.
Well, because she exercised the white guy, so he's gone. They exercised him.
Sure, we're gonna make nice with the creepy house now.
But the other one, they restored their bodies, and looking back and thinking back, they weren't really trying to torment her. They were trying to get her attention.
Yeah, but.
I mean, they look creepy, but they were just
time for a real housewarming party that involves gasoline and matches in about 3 minutes.
Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I would be more surprised if she didn't end up making altars for them. Honestly. Because like I have a couple of friends who do that, and that's why like the whole fact that she researched who they were enough to know to call on their name. And usually whenever you're just like like we've made amends in the house, we're in the house together, so like just having like their picture frame around and just knowing like they're here and like I can honor their presence and acknowledge their existence.
She found their names.
So you you saying kind of like a memorial to them somewhere in the house.
Yeah, like when people make altars for spirits in their homes, it's like, and then they'll like put things on it that they know that the person liked to help keep them comfortable in the house. So like I feel like that's the kind of relationship that is probably but yeah, I don't know if they would actually like have altars, but I in a way I feel like I'd be surprised if they didn't. I'll probably be surprised at the next episode.
I don't know.
Now when the elevator was going down, what was all those like stars that were kind of popping up? What was that?
That was the spell. That was the spell.
Oh, that was the spell?
Remember when they couldn't leave and those stars came up when the car crashed? Like, so that means that there was somebody's magic over that. Yeah.
Christina.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay, Christina.
Christina. She shows
because
up.
That guy, because when Letty had the picture of the real estate agent, was that the same guy that left with Christina sitting in there? In the real estate office.
Yeah,
that was the same guy.
Yes, that's the guy who sold her the house.
He's out of the real estate business, or
he was never in it. Come on.
Okay.
He's never in it. Now I got another question, y'all. Now I got another question. Now Tick kind of stupid. I'm just gonna say straight out, he's stupid. Because how did the world walk up into Christina with a gun thinking you're gonna shoot a wizard? Have you lost your mind?
And a wizard.
You're gonna shoot a wizard.
She survived the house caving in, everybody turning into ash, and you're like, oh, this gun will take care of her. No, it just never. You never had a chance.
I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot you.
You could have just
in broad daylight.
She should have just let him shoot. She'd be like,
or just a white woman. like either one of those things. Witch, wizard, or white woman.
I mean, had he even drawn the curtains yet, or was that like
he was like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, he drew it like he was cool. Like, yeah, why are you coming in here? He's drawing curtains like he really gonna do something. Christina look at him like, yeah, okay, buddy, yeah, go right ahead. You must don't know who I am.
You know, she's scary. She didn't need a wand. She didn't need an incantation. She barely even thought about it. Like, oh, and you're frozen now.
Right.
Like a freeze tag.
Like,
yeah.
Like, dude,
which
you're done.
She has to be very, very powerful.
And she's more like, and as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by your murder attempt.
Yes.
I'm looking for this book. Have you seen
right
it?
away?
Right.
I mean,
here's
my library card,
so you can contact me.
Yeah. And I don't know what you thought you were gonna do, cousin.
You gonna shoot me? You think you gonna shoot me? Do you know who I am? I put a force field on you, fool.
Which is interesting because
don't you mess with my family no more. Whatever.
So she has power, and it's been alluded to that he has some kind of power, but I don't think he knows that he does. But she knows that he does.
Yeah.
His grandma knew that he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what grandma was doing. She's just
like, come on, let's go.
I'm tired. Go now.
All right. So next week it looks like William is going to return, and I'm just going to call Warlock. I'm calling Warlock on him.
Yeah,
Warlock.
Yeah.
Now
next week I'm really excited because this one is all like Lovecraftian, novels and stories and board games and all that. You have all these folk, going into, doing dungeon crawling and fighting Cthulhu here and there. This time, I guess we're going to see these folk doing it. Black folk doing it. I'm excited, boy. We're going to have some Lara Croft up in there. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Right. It looked very Indiana Jones. I'm really excited about it.
I'm really excited. Really excited.
I'm so excited about that.
And we're not the sidekicks.
No.
Never did we think we would see this day.
I know.
No.
Black people going into the basement by themselves. Black people playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
I thought we would have known ourselves by now.
Black people with an arsenal of guns.
What horror movie? It would have been like, I heard, because they're like, honestly, so you're yelling like, get out of the house. I'm more of just like, I didn't hear that. Like
I was never.
You know what?
I would have been in the house.
I was listening to something else. I was dreaming. That's what that was. Let me go back to bed. Where's this blanket going? That's okay. I'm going back to bed. Thank you.
But it seems like the show is coming back to, because like the first and second episodes it was real Lovecraftian. Then this one seemed like it's real horror. Now it's coming back to the Lovecraftian part, maybe in 4. Yeah.
That, and I wonder when Hippolyta, I gotta say her name right now. I wonder when her story is going to unfold.
Yeah.
Hope so.
And the sister. And Lydia's sister. When is that going to unfold?
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of that next week.
Yeah, because we see her go into Marshall Fields. She's just in the doorway.
And it's just episode 3. Lord Jesus, I'm tired, y'all. Woo! I'm tired. Woo!
Yeah.
Lord, this story gonna wear me out. It's gonna wear me out, y'all. It's gonna wear me out.
As long as Letty has a baseball bat,
I'm
excited. I'm happy to continuing to watch the show. Just give her a baseball bat every week. I'll be happy.
Yeah, she got some arms. She got some arms. Okay,
yes,
so give me your score. How we didn't do this the first 2 episodes. Well, Julia did the first 2 episodes. Out of 5, how do you rank this episode?
Where's 5? Is that the high end? Is that the good?
5 is yes. 5 is the best.
Okay.
Ooh. Well, me personally, I'm gonna give it a 5. Like I said, this was the best rendition of Black horror I have ever seen, and I'm like, it blew me away. It just blew me away, just straight up.
I'm gonna give it a 4, but that's because I felt like the last episode was a 5. Like the way they cried, the way things set up, the power, the movements, the overlay sound, like that was definitely a 5. This was at least a 4, at most a 4.
Marcus,
I kind of agree, but I think the first episode was their best so far. It had that tension where you're like, I've never been so happy to see monsters in my entire life as I was the first episode.
Woo! You ain't lying.
So maybe it's a 3.
That first episode kept me on. No, it's not even that. It's just a high level of quality they're bringing you week to week.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a movie. Yeah. It's. But like when I go to sit down and watch this, I'm tense. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Gotta watch Lovecraft Country now.
So what's your score, Marcus?
Starla. Oh, Marcus, give us a score.
I give it a 4. I give it a 4.
4. Okay.
I give it.
Okay, man.
And like I told, I told Starla, I gave it a 4. I gave it a 5. But like I told Starla, it's 3 for 3. You know, you see some series, you know, they have a good story, then it's a bad one, and then it's a kind of like, okay. I mean, 3 for 3 for this series, man. I mean, each one of them have been like super so far. I'm like, man, they've been knocking it out the park every week, and it just makes you want to say, okay, I'm ready for Sunday. How fast is Sunday gonna get here? Because I want to see Lovecraft Country.
Right.
You know, it's rare to have a show that just says, I got it. We're Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, where is it? Yeah.
I think because of the storytelling, the story is tight.
Yes, it is.
The characters are representative of Black people that are not a monolith. So there's depth, and it goes against stereotype in media representation, and they're doing unique things. Not necessarily that you don't. I know people that sing opera, so that's not uncommon. But you don't see that. Yeah. You don't see people listening to opera on screen. Not Black people in 1955. No, I was expecting him to pull out some blues or something, and it's like what? So because of the story and the representation and the characters being so well rounded, I give it a 5. I don't like horror, so there were points where I was like, oh, I can't look. But even with that, it was so good I couldn't stop. I could not stop because it was just so well done. I love this show. And the music, oh my God.
Oh, the music, yes. But the thing is that, you know, I hate horror too, but you kept looking at this show because you're trying to catch stuff, because you know things connect, and you just got to keep looking. And like, you know, with that one scene where something comes by the window, you're like, oh my Lord, what was that? So you just got to keep looking and say, okay, I know that thing looks crazy and might eat my head, but I still want to look at it. So, you know, it's I mean, God, that's, woof. Love that show. Love it. I do love this show.
It's hard to believe that in a show where you have these sisters talking about their lifelong relationship of not trusting each other and how they are with money and their motivations. And then you got somebody being attacked by a person with a baby head. It's the same episode. It's just, how do you judge this?
And the baby head,
Lovecraft.
The baby head was the baby head was chatting in baby voice too.
Yes.
That was
it
very
was
sad.
laughing while people were dying. Oh man, that's just
Like,
mean.
I don't know if y'all saw. Well, Jade and Miklos. I don't know if y'all saw Vanessa Germain, German at the Union, and she had the different heads to represent the different stories of people who had been killed. Different Black people who had been killed. Would that be like lynchings or whatever? And one of the heads was a baby head to just acknowledge that, like,
I saw that
brutality also extended to, and we already know that, but just a physical reminder and representation of that, and that reminded me of that.
Right. Shout out to Vanessa German, friend of the show.
Shout out.
I'm sorry for butchering her last name.
Shout out.
All right. So Mick is waiting for next week. I think I'm ready for next week. I would be okay if it was a little less horror. Go back to the other stuff.
I think it's gonna be more Indiana Jones next. I think we're gonna have a lot of Indiana Jones. It's gonna be Indiana Jones.
Yes. I can handle that. I love that. Although I don't like Rodentia. And there's always present in every adventure story, and I can't stand it.
Don't worry.
It's gonna be Indiana Jones.
You'll have racism instead of rodents. It'll be fine.
I have never. I can honestly say I have never been more relieved to see the ghosts or the monsters in any. I've never been more relieved to see them.
Like, woo! Here they come. Yeah. Because when I saw those when I saw the three white boys going into that house, I was like, oh yeah. You come on in the house, baby. Come on in here. Yeah, come on in the house. Yes, come in the
house. Hey, no, sorry.
Come on.
Took his head clean off. And what were they going to do?
Clean off.
I started to get more upset when I left after I was just, thinking about the show. Because I was like, what were they going to do to her? Because there was three of them. They came
They're going to beat her up.
What were they going to do?
Extract the value of their cars from her body.
Yes.
That's the plan.
They're going to beat her up.
Yeah. I don't think that's all they were.
And then a reporter said, do you know what happened to the three white neighbors that you had? Do you know what happened to them? I was like, who cares? Who cares?
It's an unfortunate.
Actually, she kind of doesn't. Why would she know?
She doesn't.
That all happened. The house ate them. I mean, she didn't have nothing to
do. The house did eat them.
So one of them dragged those bodies down there.
Maybe the house did it. I don't know.
No, I think one of those spirits had to drag those bodies down there because I don't think she did, and Tig didn't.
No,
Priestess didn't.
He was possessed for a while.
Because
if you gotta move something,
because the elevator went by. Yeah, but the elevator went down there by itself. It closed the door and it went down by itself. So those spirits were taking over.
Or maybe Christina.
What did they need from the basement? It's not like there's a microwave down there for pizza rolls or something. There's nothing but dead bodies down there.
Not the pizza rolls.
All right. Any final thoughts?
No. Just ready for Sunday. Just ready for the next one.
More Negro spirituals. I love them.
Yes. Yes.
It was right on time too.
Ryan, you are so right. Right
on time. All right.
You're so right.
We'll start with Marcus this time. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Waterbear Games. It's the easiest place to find me, and I'm more likely to respond there. Let's go with that.
Awesome. Mick?
You can find me on Facebook under my name. You can find me and my wife, Starla. Our family plays games, trying to bring people into the hobby of board gaming, especially Black folk and people of color into the board gaming hobby. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. And the house, Raya?
The house. Okay, so you can find the house at the house AfroCon.
What?
No, House of AfroCon. There we go. At House of AfroCon.
Okay.
No, so many
House AfroCon.
House AfroCon.
Yes.
At House AfroCon on Instagram, and on Twitter it is
_HOACC.
Yes. And there's also the AfroCon Omaha that you can find on Instagram. Plugging it in, AfroCon 10/10/2020. That's October 10th, 2020, coming up soon. Yeah, totally join us. There'll be greatness and joy.
And we'll put all of the ways that you can get in touch with all, at the house, the Twitters and the Book of Faces and all of those things. And the websites will be at the very end. Thank you all so much. All right. Next week.
Yeah. No, that's so cool.